What's going on everyone, Ollelito back here with a brand new video on the channel. Today guys, we have a new analyzing video where Ollelito face off against pro players. And in today's video, as you've seen by the thumbnail, I faced up against Stokes in a Blackie Cup. And I also asked him if I got his permission to actually play the video, because I know some pro players don't really want, you know, other people to see their gameplay. So I just decided to ask him and he confirmed that it was totally fine. And as you guys know, me and Tom managed to win this beauty together. Picture up here of me and him. He's a super nice guy. I think most of you guys know him. If you guys don't know him, his link will be down in the description. He streams almost every single day and is for sure now the biggest pro player streamer in the scene. So let's just jump into today's video where we faced off against Tom Stokes in a Blackie Cup. So first of all, this was going to be Tom's team then. You guys know my team. I have exactly the same team. Tom has this team. He actually sold his R9 because he thought he was going to go down a bit more. His R9 is a lot of coins now. He thought it was a good investment. So he doesn't really have the best team now. I have my R9. I mean Ginola, Pyjamas, all the players that we usually play with. Tom was playing a 4-4-2. I was playing a 4-4-2. So let's just jump into the gameplay and see what we were cooking up. First of all, you see that Tom is trying to do the kind of Ollelito play, as you guys know by now. The thing we want to do here though, first of all, is we want to send them up here by pressing L1 on the controller. That's basically because we want to have a runner in behind making that run. You see, Tom is switching quite quickly here to Varane, but I think exactly he wanted to switch to Van Dijk, I think, because he needs to cover this run of Kylian Mbappé, making a good run in behind, which means it will buy time and space for myself to get the ball forward. So, you see, I'm just walking here a bit with the ball, a bit of R1 dribbling. I'm sending R9 with a L1 X pass to make him run in behind, so Tom again needs to cover R9. In this case, he doesn't really cover R9 because I also sent up Valverde. But the thing I do here now, as you will see, if you look at the top screen, is that I'm sending Hakimi. And that's because I want to have two runners. Because if I take the ball to the inside here, I have Hakimi. That's not actually Hakimi, that's Dalot, my bad. My right back running around his Theo Hernandez. And I should just play this L1 triangle. The thing Tom is super good at though, and one of the best pros in the scene doing, is he's very aggressive with the defending. So he pushes up with Van Dijk, stops that kind of counter. And the only vulnerable thing with me actually pushing up Dalot as much as I did is this. Because Tom, as I said, really good player in terms of being aggressive with his defense. He sends Leao on a run, manages to find Leao, red times to finish, but overall that would have been a great chance. But once again, you see that Tom is doing this really well. He's doing an L1 X pass with Leao. Do you see? Leao is pointing his arm forward. I need to switch a bit quicker here to Saliba because this is the only threat that he has going forward. But at the same time, he's buying time and space for himself to take the ball forward with Vini and probably getting closer to the goal. But as I said, he makes the decision. L1 triangle. I don't think it was a bad decision. Just need to green time the shot and it would probably have been a very good chance for Tom. So, I'm just going to show you guys a proper build-up, how I like to build up, but also I would say the best pro players in this game wants to build up and needs to build up. You want to have runners, and the thing you see I do here with Valverde is instantly sending Dalot as he has his arm forward. The thing I realized though is that Dalot will always make a straight run if I send him like this, and I want to have him more to the wing. So for me, Dalot is not really a good option to be able to just send him straight forward here. So the thing I decide then, I see that Theo is more wide, and you see, when I pass the ball to Alexia Putellas, I press L1 quickly to be able to send Theo Hernandez as he's pointing his arm forward. The thing I realized then, if I play through his line here with Putellas, through Hamsik and Graham Hansen, I believe this, I destroyed one of his lines and I broke his lines basically, which is one of the most important things you need to do. You need to be able to break these lines. So the thing I do, I find Mbappé. I think Tom already realized here that I actually have Theo Hernandez in behind, and I think he wants to switch quicker here to his fullback. But you see, he is actually controlling his defenders because he is actually thinking that either I will play R9 or Theo Hernandez in behind, which again buys time and space for myself to do something with Mbappé. So the thing I do then, I play it back to Ginola because I don't really have any options. I mean, I couldn't really go for the double to Theo or play R9 in behind. So the thing I do, I go out wide because it's easier to, I think, attack out wide. Often it's very crowded in the middle. So the thing I do, I send Valverde. I see that I'm sending Valverde and I automatically take the touch inside because I want to find my striker then. Because then I know Valverde will make a straight run in behind and he will have a good chance of scoring. So once again, you see Valverde pointing the arm forward. He keeps on running. I should have taken a bit more space here with Mbappé because he's tracking this pass really well. And overall, that's a very good way to build up. But you see how important it is to send these players because it buys time for me to actually have more time on the ball. And especially playing against players like Tom, who is very aggressive in his defending, is super important. Once again, here on the wing, we use the play lock to our advantage, trying to find something. You see how many runners I have going forward. Kylian Mbappé. I don't think that should have gone in, but in general, you see once again how many runners I have. I find R9, I send Theo Hernandez, I send Putellas, now I send Valverde, then finding Mbappe, and it's going to be a corner. But why am I sending players then? Because the players that I'm sending is going to push down my opponent's defense, because the AI, defensive AI, is really, really stupid in this year's game, and it's been for the last 2 years. This is why pro players send players, because often the defenders are following kind of the runners inside, or the runs that are being created, the runs that are actually going in behind, which means that it's pushing the team down. Often. That's why you want to send players. And this is also why a lot of players want to play 70 depth, because you will get these auto or side traps, which means that the defense is pushing up and you won't have your defense defending inside your own box all the time. So that's why also I think 70 depth is really good, because it has the automated off side traps, which means that even if I send runners like this, the team will push up automatically. But if you play on 50, for example, you need to use the offside trap with the D-pad, and you do that by performing this button here, press it twice up, basically. And from this corner that we managed to get, we actually got a bit lucky. Shit goal. I mean, no skill at all in terms of that. The thing I wanted to do was to basically find Van Dijk, right? And he's there with Van Dijk. The ball is just bouncing to Tomori, who has an open net. So shit goal and no skill at all. But we managed to take the lead. And it is important to take the lead against Tom, because if he can play at his own tempo, he is a very dangerous player to play against. And from this build up, I'm actually going to show you guys why building up is so important in FC 25, because if you are not so clever in building up and don't really find the risks, like trying to find the risk versus reward. I mean, of course, if you have high risk, high reward. If you have low risk, might not be the highest reward. But the thing I do with Theo, I always want to find the inside to Putellas, then create that 2v1. So he needs to decide with Hamsik to either go on Theo or Putellas. The thing I do though, he gets the ball with Hamsik here, and he has a lot of options, and that's basically because I lost the ball with my fullback. You see, Dalot is nowhere to be seen at the top there. Theo Hernandez is not covering anyone. So the thing Tom is doing this very, very well with Hamsik, power shot, top bins, and this is basically because I lose the ball in transition. And once again here, the power shot is so goddamn good. I think he green timed this as well. Perfect goal, and scores to make it 1-1. But right from kickoff, we were actually going to take the lead once again. I sent Theo here on a run. Theo manages to win this to Mbappe. R9, green time finish into the back of the net. I thought Theo was actually going to auto-block that. If we look at that back, I think Theo maybe should have done that. But overall, a pretty good goal. But it starts from me sending Theo Hernandez in behind here. You see? I'm sending Theo Hernandez. I see, okay, he's actually in a pretty good spot now. I see actually with a co-op camera, by the way, that he's making a run in behind. Find Mbappe, finding R9, green time finish into the back of the net, and we score right away to make it 2-1 in this game. I thought I just needed to show you guys a very, very important thing. I wanted to show you guys this build-up first of all, but why I'm doing one of these decisions is going to be really interesting. The thing I do here though, I find Putellas. I sent Theo Hernandez by doing an L1 pass towards Putellas. Here though, I'm doing the play lock, and this is why you guys need to watch the play lock tutorial, because this is really important. I beat his Alexander-Arnold because I also know that Tom is a very, very aggressive player, so I know he will try to go at me here. So the thing I do here, I have basically a 4v3, I would say. I have Ginola, I have R9, I have Theo Hernandez, and if you even look at the top there, I have Dalot. But the thing I always decide to do is to send Ginola. That's because he needs to focus on Ginola, but then I can play it out wide and then try to get the ball inside. The thing I do here though, which is super important, I won't score this chance, but this is super important for you guys. I send Ginola here by pressing L1, and why am I sending Ginola? It doesn't really make sense because it's very, very hard for me to find him. The thing I talked about before by sending players to actually push the opponent's team down is that Ginola will drag Van Dijk with him, which means that basically the space on the outside of the box will open up for maybe Mbappe to get on that second wave or even R9. So I just send Ginola here to make a run just straight forward, so he drags Van Dijk with him to open up space by the edge of the box. Here though, Tom defends is very, very well. I should have just done a bit of R1 dribbling there. I was just running with R2 for too long. And overall, that's a very, very smart tip for you. And one thing I learned last year, just sending players to actually open up space for other players to get into, basically. Okay, so this is also going to be a build-up, a pretty quick throw-in by just selecting Ginola and pressing triangle. We get in behind, and this is the kind of the Ollelito players we wanted to talk about, finding wingback, CMC, and we didn't really get deep enough though. So I decided to recycle, and if I find this space in between his fullback and center back, then it's money time, then it's cash money time. And the thing we do here with R9 is that I do this very, very quickly. I take the touch perfectly just before Theo almost tries to get the ball. I do the L1, as you see at the top corner, then I try to do the speed boost here to, you know, push off Van Dijk and switch the tempo in the game. The thing I do, L1 or 2, as you see at the controller up there, I get a lot of space here. And here I could have even, you know, done a bit of R1 dribbling, then Trivela far post. The thing I do though, the player lock, as we talked about. As I'm getting closer here, I see that his Van der Sar is coming out. I do the play lock to Mbappé, and this is very, very hard for him to react on. This is in general super, super hard for him to react on. I don't think there's anyone that can react to this. Find Mbappé, open net, and we make it 3-1. That's basically because we find a pocket of space in between the fullbacks and the back, then accelerates the tempo, and then we are in a 2v1 situation, which we do perfectly now by doing the play lock and then open it. And this is going to be a very, very good chance from Tom. And this is why Tom is so goddamn good. Here again, I'm being a bit sloppy in build-up, which means that I basically can't consider. Tom is doing the ball roll here, and he could have done a Trivela. I think he scores if he does that. But I think he wanted to bait me into actually moving the keeper, because moving the keeper and then controlling the center back at the same time is really hard, right? So he baits me into doing this. I guess I get a bit lucky here, because if he shoots this, he scores because I'm not moving the keeper. The thing that does after though here is doing a few step overs, cancelling them. Very, very good move from Tom here. Buying space for himself, but also he is actually the guy that's deciding what I'm going to do now, because he's just waiting for me to step out or maybe try to tackle him or whatever. The thing I do here though, he gets into Vini here, and he could shoot this, but Tom is so good inside the box. There is not a lot of pro players that are at the same caliber as Tom going forward, especially inside the box. The thing I do here though is that he's canceling the shot, which was super, super good for me, because I mean here again, I'm in a position where I need to guess what he's doing, which is not a good situation you want to be in. I guess correctly though, which is a bit lucky. I defend this perfectly by actually just moving back Van Dijk. Then when he gets into the animation of the shot, then I go forward with Van Dijk taking the ball, and we survived that attack. But overall I got a bit lucky there, and I could have conceded once again though the first time through. But let's see, right after that I unfortunately missed this because I yellow timed it. But this is so stupid, it shouldn't really work, but it is. It's basically just one pass from my own penalty box into his, and as you see here, my aim is very, very poor, and at the same time I yellow time it. So could have made it 4-1 there, and we would have been in a really good position, but the game is still super entertaining. Here again we have a pretty good chance with sending Dalot, as we want to have a runner. R9 here, Tom defenses perfectly. He manages to keep it in play as well. This was a bit of a glitch, I don't know why that got to Van der Sar. Here though, I'm pressing him well with Van der Sar. This was pretty sloppy from him. At the same time, Black Cup is not the most important tournament, so I guess, I mean, a lot of times people are playing a bit sloppy. And Mbappé, green time finish, first post. If you manage to green time the shot from this kind of angle as I was with Mbappé, for me the keeper just can't save it most of the times, and it's a fantastic finish, and we lead this game 4-1. And I'm also just going to say, I don't think I got this lucky in a game up to this point yet. I don't think I've had this many 50-50s with me throughout the whole game. This was happening to Tom all the time. I mean, I was getting very fortunate with all these bounce backs. The thing though, he does this very well. As I said before, a very aggressive defender, Tom. Manages to get a really, really good chance out of this. I move my keeper to the far post because I know how good the Trivela is. And I think if he green times this Trivela, he might actually score, even though I move the keeper far post. Of course, if we're looking back at this chance, as this is post-com, super easy to say he should have just shot first post. But I get very, very lucky here. He could easily score this. Very good save though from Alisson. But the corner was going to be a bit dangerous, as Tom was really, really good at corners. Almost scores to make it 4-2, and overall this was an even game, but I think the difference at the moment was that I was actually scoring my chances and my Alisson was saving me a few times. Again here, Tom on the counter attack is doing this very, very well. He's sending Vini, which means you see how I'm actually following Vini with my Van Dijk here. He does this super well though, because he sends Graham Hansen here, and as you see, she's pointing the arm forward. I track down Vini, and that means that Van Dijk is basically the last man, and he is bringing the offside line down, which means that this pass from Mbappé to Graham Hansen here is fantastic. The only thing I need to do here is that I need to tuck into you a bit more, so actually closing down the angle for this pass to be created. He takes a very, very good touch. I think it was a bit of delay here, I'm gonna be honest, because I mean Vini is quite open, but here I mean he shouldn't really go forward. But here again, we're getting a bit saved by actually him having a bit of delay. I just wanted to show you guys this, because this is one thing that I could relate to a lot of you guys actually doing. And the thing I do a lot of times when I get into these situations, as I am with R9 now, is that I just shoot. And that's why I think it's going pretty well for me in all games, because I play very basic FIFA, right? I play pass and go, and then just not really a lot of skills. And the thing I should have done here is to just shoot, because I can shoot this finesse far post. The thing that can happen though is that Van Dijk is blocking the shot, or I just try to green time this going forward. But I decide to do a skill move, which means that, I mean, Valverde is in a perfect position that I can't go through there. and I missed a chance. And this is one important thing. I think a lot of you guys are just doing it way too complicated inside the box, and sometimes it can just be good to take a touch and shoot. And that's why I always tell you guys the first touch, where you basically aim in your left analog, is the side you're going to take the ball towards. So that's why I'm saying pointing the analog to a good spot and taking the touch in the direction you want to is super, super important. And as I said, I made the right decision in taking the touch in that way, but we unfortunately overdid it by doing a few more skill moves, which was not necessary in that situation. Here again, we have a very, very good chance. We have R9 doing a bit of a speed boost. Here again, he missed the tackle with Van Dijk, which means that one of the center back is out of position, which basically puts in my head, okay, now it's time to go forward, and it's time to go forward quickly. So I already beaten Van Dijk. I see that Ginola is onside. Here again, I'm doing it way too complicated. Just run in a straight line, Olle, and shoot. But as I said, and I think a lot of you guys that are watching can actually relate, I'm doing it way too complicated for myself. I should just shoot here, but I want to find a 150,000% chance goal, which would be an open net. But here again, very good defending from Tom. I'm getting a bit fortunate there, but he was offside. But once again, just sometimes it's so easy, and try to not make it difficult for you guys. Once again here, good pressure from Putellas. Doing a very, very good speed boost with Mbappé. Good play lock to Ginola. Here again, I should have just taken the touch down and then just keep on running because I had so much bait to work with. But once again, doing it too complicated and we miss an opportunity to score. I wanted to show you this sequence as well, because this is going to be a super, super important sequence where I'm going to explain what's going through my mind. And the thing I do here though, he finds this kind of very, very good pass to Graham, and he beats a lot of players here. He beats my Ginola, he beats my Putellas, he beats my Valverde. And as you see now here as well, I actually switched to a 5-back because I wasn't really feeling comfortable with defending him because he's so good going forward. But I decide, okay, I missed the tackle first of all with Van Dijk. I need to tuck into Mori to actually cover off Mbappé. But I also decide, okay, the thing that I can do is to try to be really aggressive here. And it's going through my mind, okay, I either need to cover off Leao and Mbappé, or I try to be aggressive and try to go on him and press tackle. The thing I do, I succeed by winning the ball with Saliba. And then once again, when I get the ball here and we are under heavy pressure, always take the ball to the side, because on the side you can actually lose the ball in this year's game, but in the middle you will get counter-attacked so heavily. Once again here we find a very, very good pass to Theo Hernandez, and here again I should have done a normal cross because that would probably been able to find R9 and I would have scored to make it 5-1, and that would have been nail in the coffin. And that was actually going to be the end of the game. He managed to finish 4-1. Overall, as I said, I got very lucky with a few bounce backs. It was a 50-50 game, but we managed to come out on top in this one. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know down in the comments which pro player you want to see me face up against. As I said, it was a pleasure for me to play Stokes, fantastic player. But which player do you want to see me play against, but also analyze their gameplay, but also me playing against them? Let me know down in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for the support, and don't forget to subscribe. See you guys soon. Bye bye.